It is 4 p.m. We're redeveloping news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. The headlines at this are: House Majority Leader and Presidential son Sandro Marcos blasts the recent video statement of resigned Congressman Zaldi Co. In part 2 of Co's fourth video uploaded on social media, he alleged that President Bongbong Marcos knew about insertions in the national budget. And according to Co, it's not only the president who did this. Even his son Sandro, who won his first term as Ilocos Norte 1st District Congressman back in 2022, was supposedly involved in kickbacks from infrastructure projects.
At kung titingnan ninyo ang 2026 budget, may panibago siyang 97 billion insertions. Pero ngayon, ipinasok na mismo sa President's Budget or NEP 2026. Yan po ang kinumpirma ni Secretary Manny Bunoan na may instructions ang Pangulo na magpasok ng 100 billion ulit sa President's Budget. Kaya wala na siyang pwedeng ipamigay. Hindi lang po ang Pangulo ang may insertion sa budget. Pati po si Congressman Sandro Marcos, meron din pong pinapasok taon-taon. Noong 2023, may 9.636 billion pesos. Noong 2024, 20.174 billion pesos. At nitong 2025, 21.127 billion pesos. Lahat-lahat, ang kabuuan ay 50.938 billion pesos. At bawat taon po, sa tuwing dumarating ang BICAM budget process, lagi po may utos si Congressman Sandro na ipasok ang mga proyekto niya.
In a statement shortly after Co's latest video installment, Congressman Marcos said, and we quote, "Anyone can sit in front of a camera from abroad and spew lies." The statement from the newly crowned champion of the DDS cabal, former Congressman Zaldi Co, are frankly as fantastical as they are false. The younger Marcos also called the former lawmaker a person with no credibility who's only out to oust the government. Sandro stresses that Co is stirring political chaos to escape his legal troubles. Congressman Marcos ended his statement with, and we quote, "Sa aking mga kababayan, si Zaldi Co ay hindi po isang journalist or truth crusader. Siya po ay isang kriminal na umiiwas sa hustisya. Huwag po tayong magpabudol sa kanya." Hindi ito revelasyon, ito ay destabilisasyon. In his media briefing yesterday, President Marcos called on Co to come forward and put his allegations on record.
For it to mean something, umuwi siya rito. Harapin niya yung mga kaso niya. Kung meron siyang gusto sabihin, sabihin niya. Malalaman naman ng tao yan eh. Patunayan, but come home. Come home. Ba't ka nagtatago sa malayo? Ako, hindi ako nagtatago eh. Kung meron kang akusasyon sa akin, nandito ako.
Quezon City 1st District Representative Arjo Atayde and Caloocan 3rd District Representative Dean Asistio appeared at the Independent Commission for Infrastructure today for separate hearings. Both, however, requested an executive session. Speaking to reporters, Atayde said he's ready to testify fully and dismissed as hearsay the allegations against him and his father Arturo Atayde over the flood control scam. Asistio also denied involvement and said he will submit additional documents to the ICI to prove his innocence. The two lawmakers said they are willing to return if summoned again.
Sa darating po na linggo na ito, itong linggo na ito, may mga isasabit pa po tayong documents para po makatulong sa kanilang investigation. Paulit-ulit po natin i-deny na meron po tayong kinalaman sa implementation ng mga project sa ating district.
Sir, have you met?
It's all hearsay po, sir. Bigay po muna sa akin yung ebidensya laban sa akin. Wala po kami tinatago, hindi ako magtatago, hindi ako iiwas, hindi ako lilipad ng ibang bansa. I am here to thoroughly go through the investigation to fight for my innocence po.
And here are the other stories we're watching this Tuesday, November 25. The Justice Department assures the public that DOJ Undersecretary Jojo Cadiz's name being mentioned in a video by former Congressman Zaldi Co will not affect the integrity of the flood control investigation. Co accuses Cadiz of serving as a messenger for President Bongbong Marcos and handling alleged remittances. The DOJ also said that Cadiz is currently on leave and has no role in the investigation.
Still on the Justice Department, it's offering a 1 million peso reward for information leading to the location and arrest of Cassandra Leong. The move comes after the court ordered the cancellation of the passports of Ong and other co-accused in the illegal Pogo Hub case in Porac, Pampanga. Ong is facing qualified trafficking charges. Meantime, former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says he will file a motion for reconsideration after the court approved the government's request to cancel his passport. Roque argued that the court's justification for revocation was flawed and stressed that the right to seek asylum is a recognized human right. He also asked his supporters for prayers, citing fears for his security and safety. And Pag-asa continues to monitor Tropical Depression Verbena as it approaches Cuyo Islands. It was last spotted over the coastal waters of Magsaysay, Palawan, with winds of 55 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 70 kph. Verbena is forecast to make landfall over the northern portion of Palawan tonight, where it may reach tropical storm category. It will exit the Philippine area of responsibility on Thursday early morning. Signal number 1 remains raised over parts of Luzon and the Visayas, and you can see it there on your screens.
Okay, we have breaking news, but we have to confirm it first.
The breaking news is I spilled coffee all over my scripts. That's why.
But it's
okay,
quite
ikaw na mag-break.
important, but should we break it already? It still has to be confirmed. I have to see first the sourcing. Maybe we'll give you a better idea later, because it is quite a delicate topic.
Consequential.
So we'd want to make sure first that it's confirmed.
In the meantime, you go and verify whilst I clean up my mess. Nagulat ako masyado sa news na I spilled my coffee.
Okay, well, it's only from a source, an unidentified source of media organization. So we'll keep it at that muna.
Okay. So, hindi mo muna i-break?
Oh, it's somebody else's story which is coming from a source unidentified.
Okay. But it has to do with the former presidential spokesman,
Yeah, with
Attorney
the
Harry
person we're
Roque.
supposed to be talking to this afternoon.
We're supposed to be talking to him. We invited him
no.
on the show today. So we'll see.
Harry, if you can, please pick up the phone.
We just wanted to clear up a few things and get an update on your case. Yeah.
Because remember, see, Harry's passport and that of Cassandra Leong's, the passport of the two of them were cancelled by the DFA. So, in fact, that means...
ang question ngayon is, so with Cassandra, it's a bit more straightforward because then, so now she's no passport, she's stateless. She is effectively a fugitive.
She's an illegal visitor in whatever country she's in.
And there is a red notice out for her.
Yeah,
so
and the same
that's
would go with
pretty
Harry
clear.
with the cancellation of his passport.
Same would for Harry, except that what's complicating things a little bit is, of course, he is applying for asylum. He has a pending asylum application in the Netherlands. And as he keeps saying, if you have an asylum application, then by the principle of non-refoulement, he is protected. Hindi siya pwedeng patalsikin, palabasin ng Netherlands. According to him, we don't know for a fact that that is true, and ultimately it will come down to, obviously, the decision.
There are several principles at play.
Of the Netherlands.
What you call the non-refoulement principle that applies not only to the Netherlands but as well to most other countries that respect human rights. It's a principle, non-refoulement, meaning you're not supposed to be sent back to a country that poses a danger to you. So
Yung non-refoulement means, yes, correct, and that they can't send him back to his home country if he is being persecuted. The question there is he being persecuted? Na-establish ba? And ultimately, who will make that decision? I guess it's the Dutch government, right? Because they have to be the one to act on this Interpol red notice and also his asylum application. So ultimately, they have to weigh all of these things that's sitting in front of them against the principles of international law and against, as well, don't forget, there is a diplomatic side to this. Ultimately, it comes down as well to how they will respond based on the principle of reciprocity in diplomacy, right?
Also kasi, if you're able to prove that you're being persecuted by your home country, then they would have granted you amnesty already.
Except mahaba-haba ngayon naman talaga yung wait list for asylum application.
Okay.
I mean, in the Netherlands, we do know they have a huge backlog, di ba? Sinabi na nila yan that because of the
May konting
pandemic,
pushback na nga eh.
oo, all of their asylum applications have been pushed back and been delayed. So, dinagdag pa dyan, of course, yung the new cases right out of the pandemic. So, we don't know how big the backlog is and whether they will act on high-profile cases first, high-profile political cases first, right? Yeah, ultimately sila lang makapagsabi niyan.
There was a post by Harry on his Facebook page around 7 minutes ago or 8 minutes ago. I suppose the presumption there is that at least that time, 8 minutes ago.
What did he say?
On the Palace Press Officer statement, quoting Harry, may issue ba kay Tatay Digong na siya ay nagdodroga? Wala po. Posted by Harry Roque 8 minutes ago. Ito yung balitaktakan dun sa issue ng supposed alleged drug use kay President Bongbong Marcos. Ito yung balik ni Harry na wala raw issue as far as drug use of the former President Duterte is concerned. So, yun. We're still hoping to be able to get in touch with Harry. Teka, this another one. What's this one?
So we are at this point getting word, but again, largely unconfirmed. We're trying to try to get our own confirmation about the whereabouts and the status of Harry Roque.
Baka you can get let's get the Gilbert Andres in the meantime that we're trying to confirm this. Baka mamaya si Gilbert's in the area, baka he's also getting some word. Okay, well, our planned guests for today were supposed to be number one, Harry Roque, for the first part of the program, and then after that would be Center Law's Attorney Gilbert Andres, who's now based in the Netherlands. I think he's studying there right now. Of course, Center Law used to be Harry's,
Baby.
Yeah, baby. Harry and Joel
He founded
Butuyan's
it.
baby. Yeah, he co-founded it with Joel Butuyan, who's still there, but they had some sort of a falling out. After
To say the least.
After Harry decided to speak for President Duterte or former President Duterte. So may konti silang friction every now and then.
In fact, they described him as katulad ni Ronald, they describe him as an ex-human rights lawyer because Central Law mostly used to focus on human rights cases. Diba?
And Center Law is very, very active in the prosecution of the Ampatuan massacre. In fact, several of the victims were represented by Center Law. And also by Harry Roque. I mean, you have to give him credit for that. He also represented several victims and gave them assistance. The families of the victims, I mean.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah. So you have to give him that naman. Oh, yun. So we're still trying to confirm the stories coming out of the Netherlands.
What we do know that he was supposed to do these next few days was to file a motion for reconsideration on his canceled passport. Kasi as he explained in the video that he released, this is the one that we're showing right now. He gets
This was just yesterday,
days.
yata, no?
Oh, no, this was just yesterday. In reaction to the cancellation of his passport.
He was asking for prayers.
And 15 days. He gets 15 days to appeal it via a motion for reconsideration. So that's what we know that he was supposed to do next. But yun nga, we don't know.
I wonder how you file an appeal for that. No? Do you have to go to?
I'm sure may tao naman siya that can bring it to the.
You don't have to.
To the court. To swear in front. No. It's just a motion for reconsideration. So pwede naman a lawyer can
you don't
file
have to come home and.
A lawyer can file it on his behalf, or he can. I don't know if they accept transmittals, electronic transmittals now. Pero baka pwede.
Or maybe to the embassy.
He just needs to have it probably notarized or apostilled.
Also, Jan, if we can also try the Philippine ambassador to the Netherlands, I'm sure they'd get word kaagad if there was anything developing from that side. So there, we're looking at that. We wanted to talk to Harry Roque about the cancellation of the passport, and then talk to Attorney Gilbert Andres of Center Law to talk about the processes and the procedures involved as far as whether Harry can just be deported or arrested by the Interpol in the Netherlands, even if he has a pending application for asylum in the Netherlands, because we've been hearing different sides of that coin there.
Sabi ng the chief state counsel, Dennis Chan, that the presence of a passport is irrelevant in determining whether his application for asylum will be granted. Because I guess it's what he's saying here is it's two different things. The asylum application will ultimately fall on whether or not he is being persecuted. That's the question that they need to answer first. The Dutch authorities that they need to answer first. Is he being persecuted in his home country or
But in
not?
the meantime, that is not determined. What happens if his passport is cancelled? Does that mean that he can be picked up?
If the Dutch police decide to act on it. Remember, Interpol does not
Yeah.
have a police force, and it
Yeah.
cannot force any country to,
true.
arrest any citizen or any
Interpol's only a coordinating
any
body.
visitor, right? It's they can issue the red notice, and ultimately it's up to that country's authorities to determine whether to act on the red notice or not. But what we do know about the Dutch government is it's a bastion of international law, right? So if anyone would uphold the principles of international law, it would be them, because that's the whole. I mean, the Hague, for crying out loud, is hosted there, right? So, yun.
They're very, very careful when it comes to issues like these. They don't want it to be used against them. So, yun. That's something that we are watching out for right now. Baka we can get Gilbert Andres. Baka we can move him up.
We're also getting word that Senate President Tito Soto has said something at the Senate hearing right now about Harry. Bine-verify pa sa DFA at this point. Our booker, sabi nga namin sa inyo that we were supposed to have Harry Roque on the show today. So our bookers are continually trying his phone, but no one is picking up.
We're not telling you what we're seeing and hearing because it's unverified, but you're getting, I suppose by this time you're getting an idea what we're probably talking about. Yun. So take a good guess, and I'm sure you'll guess it right.
But in any case,
to be responsible about things, we cannot break the story until we have confirmation of some sort.
In the meantime, si presidential son and Congressman Sandro Marcos has spoken up once again about the allegations against him by Zaldi Ko. Did you read, nabasa mo ba yung statement?
Yeah,
I had to
yeah.
laugh at the newly crowned champion of the DDS Cabal.
Cabal, yeah. Well, that's his word, not our word, okay?
That was Congressman Sandro Marcos's phrase, newly crowned champion of the DDS Cabal.
Kasi dati he was being pilloried by everybody, including, of course, the DDS group.
And then now
he's being championed.
But it seems, it struck me as him suggesting something else there as well. Na parang Zaldi Ko crossed over to the other side. And
that's the implication.
That's his
of his
implication,
statement.
correct.
Yeah.
And I wonder where he's getting that from.
For those of you... Okay, we have the soundbite from Tito Soto. Is that from a few minutes ago?
Okay, let's play it.
Okay, can we play that and let him do the talking?
And that topic, can you ask the DFA if they have news about the breaking news now that former Secretary Harry Roque has been arrested in the Netherlands? It's in the news. Check it out if it's fake news or whatever.
While it's in the breaking news, Mr. President, the DFA is still in the process of verifying, as they've had no information from the Netherlands.
Out in public. So Well, it's being talked about already in public. The reports coming in from the Netherlands, still unverified, still being verified by the DFA, that possibly Mr. or Attorney Harry Roque, former presidential spokesman, may have been arrested already in the Netherlands, and presumably because of his cancelled passport, presumably.
Presumably.
Presumably, yeah.
Presumably.
That's as far as we can say. That's only presumably.
And also, of course, there's a red notice. The red
It's a
notice
blue
has not been granted, but
It's been applied for.
It has been lodged and applied for at the Interpol.
What I think they have already is a blue notice. Anyway, yeah. So there. Anyway, going back to our discussion a while ago of Sandro Marcos, there was a part 2 of the part 4 of the video clips being released by Zaldico.
4B na tayo.
There's 4A and 4B. 4A was released the other day, at least a day ago, and 4B was released today, around 4 or 5 hours ago. So some interesting assertions there by Zaldico, as well as interesting assertions as well, interesting change in his appearances. But then, among other things that he revealed in his, or that he claims in his statement, that Speaker Romualdez asked him to deliver to him 2 billion pesos a month in kickbacks. This is an assertion by Zaldico. He was being asked by Martin Romualdez to deliver 2 billion a month. Paghahatian daw ni Martin Romualdez at ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, quoting Martin Romualdez, not quoting the president himself. But later in the video today, if I recall correctly, Siko said that he had made at least 1 billion pesos in deliveries to a newly purchased house in South Forbes that was purchased just precisely to receive deliveries for the president who lives in the same village, just 2 blocks away. It's this new house that they were supposedly bought just for this delivery was in Tamarin Road,
in South Forbes.
South Forbes, while the president lives along Nara Street in South Forbes. Yun daw yung kanilang drop-off at pick-up
And allegedly,
location.
former Speaker Romualdez also bought a house along Nara Street. And then the other allegation that Zaldico made against Congressman Sandro Marcos is that in total, though, Congressman Marcos inserted some 50 billion pesos
56 or 57.
in the budget. That's from 2023 to 2025. And of course, he posted...
20, 20.
He posted the documents. But, I mean, again, with these documents, there's no way of verifying at all, right? They're just documents. They're just itemized lists
it's a listing
of projects. It has no seal. It has no, any sort of indicator or mark showing that it did come from
That it's an
congressional
actual
budget.
document.
Yes, that's an official document from congressional budget here.
Well, one more interesting thing that Coco alleges in his video is that he had a meeting with the president in Aguado, in the residence in Aguado Street, very near Malacanang, in March of 2025, March of this year, where he quoted the president as telling him na wag mo nang harangan o wag mo nang pigilan yung mga insertions ko. And he's quoting the president as telling him that. But that was in March of this year, pero he was removed as Appropriations Committee Chairman January 12,
Correct.
2025. Or 3 months earlier. So, hindi clear kung paano nangyari yun.
So there's some questions about the timeline as well.
Yeah. So, yun. Hey, but take a look, see. You guys watch the video. It's on his official Facebook page.
Okay.
I think Attorney Gilbert is already here.
Let's bring in our guest now, live from the Netherlands as well, but not the guy that we're all looking for. We are talking to Attorney Gilbert Andres, ICC accredited lawyer. Hi, Attorney.
Hi, sir. Sir, nakamute.
Good afternoon,
There you go,
Regina
sir.
and Actually, I'm here in the Philippines. I'm back in the Philippines.
Oh, you are?
Nakabalik na pala. I was worried pa naman. I was worried pa naman of time zone, so baka mamaya masyadong maaga. Well, sir, have you heard anything about or from Harry Roque? So many reports coming in, supposedly from the Netherlands, as to his status.
Well, I only heard rumors and as well as initial reports, but I think this have not yet been confirmed, so we're still awaiting confirmation.
Okay. Well, actually, sir, we got you not because of that. That's only a breaking story that's still to be confirmed. But we wanted to talk to you kasi about yung cancellation ng kanyang passport by the DFA. So that's one. On one hand, na-cancel yung passport niya. But on the other hand, in previous months, si Harry was insisting na he cannot just be arrested and sent home because he had already applied for asylum with the Netherlands. I suppose may procedures dyan na hindi pwedeng gawin. What do we know about that? If you have a pending application for asylum in the Netherlands, hindi ka pwedeng arrestuhin. How does that go, sir?
And specifically, the principle that he keeps citing is non-refoulement.
Okay. The principle of non-refoulement is provided for in the Refugee Convention. So if there's a possibility that the person will actually face torture in the state from which he or she originated from, then that person cannot be returned. But I think the issue here is really factual. So the first issue is whether or not indeed Attorney Harry Roque applied for asylum before the Netherlands government, and indeed whether or not that's still pending or whether or not it has been denied. So there are many factual circumstances that have to be confirmed. But I think just from a very academic point of view, if there's a pending application for refugee status or asylum seeking, then this will be weighed by the government, by the state involved. And I think this is the Netherlands in this circumstance. So nasa Netherlands po yan, mag-weigh po ng mga factors na yan.
Yes, sir. But what do they weigh? So to begin with, hindi automatic na just because you applied for asylum and your application was formally received, hindi automatic na you cannot touch me.
Well, technically, ang nag-apply for refugee status at kung hindi pa na-approve yan, asylum seeker siya. O kung na-approve na yan yung refugee na siya. Pero as of this moment, hindi kasi natin alam talaga kung ano yung official status ng application ni Attorney Roque. So mahirap makapagsagot talaga ng definite.
Yes, sir. Pero if you are still officially an asylum seeker pa lang, wala pang, example, kung hindi pa granted or rejected yung application, can you be touched? How does that work?
Can you be arrested or extradited?
Dito ini-invoke yung principle of non-refoulement. Pero yun, titingnan din kasi yan. Kasi it's also a factual assessment kung merong ang talagang risk that there will be torture that will happen if the person is returned to the country involved. So, dyan yung sinasabi kong kailangan balansehin ng state involved.
So it's
hindi automatic.
it doesn't sound like it's automatic as what Harry Roque keeps saying. Na once you've lodged an application, they can't touch you until they've decided on that application.
May discretion pa.
Oo. And by the way, it's French pala. It's non-refoulement, not non-refoulement.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, it's non-refoulement.
So it's French. Okay. You're absolutely right. They have to weigh a number of things here. But attorney, based on what you know about Dutch law, how do you think they will go about assessing whether or not he is being persecuted in his home country? Because ultimately, all of these decisions hinges on that one question, right? Whether or not he is he should and is fit to be sent back to his home country.
Okay. Actually, I also have to say there's an interplay of international law as well as Dutch domestic law. And under international law, Refugee Convention, and then titingnan din if we have an extradition treaty with the Netherlands. And I think we have an extradition treaty with the Netherlands. Kaya titingnan din if the factors for an extradition applies. Mayroong tinatawag, Regina at Ed, na double criminality rule, that the crime for which the person is charged in the requesting state is also a crime in the requested state, requested. And I think these are both crimes in the Netherlands and in the Philippines, for which Attorney Harry is actually charged for. So that's what the Dutch government will actually look at. And this process is also judicial in essence, kasi it involves extradition.
Sir, if the same crime exists in the requested country, does that make it more grievous? Does it make it more serious for the requested country when it assesses the
Actually,
application?
ano man siya, Ed, is just a treaty requirement para alam na this is really a crime in both states, na in essence hindi siya parang political crimes, kasi meron crimes na siya sa isang state pero hindi po siya crime sa requested state. So that's the essence at the heart of this requirement, the double criminality rule.
To make sure it's not a political crime that he's being charged with.
That's also a requirement ng Interpol Red Notice, that the arrest warrant is not issued for any political crime. Kaya consider din yan ng registry ng Interpol.
Okay.
That's interesting. It's there's an interplay, as you said, of Dutch local laws and international law here. So, in a case where the two not necessarily clash, but go by different principles, which one takes precedence?
Well, in my understanding of Dutch law, they're both important because international human rights law, in fact, it even has constitutional rights standard or the effect of a constitutional right. So, in fact, international law, and we know that The Hague is called as the City of Justice and Peace, and we know that the Netherlands is very active in international law. So, mayroon po siyang almost equal na level of legality in Dutch domestic law.
Sir, attorney, i-break ko lang po may sinabi lang yung DOJ spokesman on the reports of possible Roque arrest. Hi, good afternoon. We have not received any official communication with respect to the alleged arrest of Harry Roque. We will update once we receive confirmation. So yun, that's where we are officially at this point. Wala pang official comms.
Yeah. Moving on from Harry Roque, attorney, as I'm sure you know, the decision on the former President Rodrigo Duterte's interim release is happening this Friday. I wonder if you know anything about that and what can we expect about it?
Well, what I know is based on the Rome Statute, any decision by the appeals chamber should be made public. That's why it's this scheduling order. It's 10:30 a.m. Hague time. Here in the Philippines, it's 5:30 p.m. Although they usually have a time delay for security purposes, mga 30 minutes time delay yan. Now, what I can say is that on the part of the victims of the war on drugs, we really hope that the appeals chamber will actually deny the appeal on the interim release decision. Why? Because we think that there are really factual and legal grounds for the pre-trial chamber to deny the interim release application. So the appeals chamber will really look at the legal basis as well as the factual basis. And the error should be very obvious. But for us, there are no errors. In fact, it was a unanimous decision by all of the 3 judges of the pre-trial chamber 1.
We also just broke just now on Harry Roque's page. He says there is no truth to the rumors that I have been arrested. I have a scheduled flight to Vienna, Austria today, November 25. Details to follow.
Okay, there you go. There's a photo of his of his plane ticket.
Again, this is
So-
coming from Harry Roque's official Facebook page, so I guess this is the last word on it. But
Tawagan niyo si
again,
Harry, dali.
there's no
He's
truth to the
supposed to be-
rumors
I
that
guess
he's
we're
gonna-
living in very interesting times.
Oo nga eh. So I know hopes are high that former President Duterte will not be granted interim release, but if they do, what is your game plan?
Oh, wow. That would really change the domestic political scene. But for us, victims of the war on drugs, to be very frank, patay na. Yun. Kasi delikado po. It's very dangerous circumstances for the victims as well as potential witnesses. Because even now that Mr. Duterte is detained, there really are factors against the security of the witnesses as well as for the victims, because the Dutertes, as we know, they're still very powerful and influential in Philippine society.
What do you mean by that, sir? There's security threats on the drug war victims. What's been going on? What kind of threats have they been getting?
Well, for example, yung mga social media, mayroong mga comments about the victims, about the potential witnesses. And the complication here is, Regina, I cannot really specify it because it will also expose yung mga potential witnesses na yun at mga victims. But suffice it to say that we also stated this in the submission of the Office of the Public Counsel for Victims when they submitted their response to the interim release application of the defense.
Sir, medyo lipat lang ng konti. Si Bato Dela Rosa, everybody is wondering now where he is. I'm not gonna ask you where you think he is.
I really don't know.
No, I'm not gonna ask you that. But there's been quite a lot of back and forth on the legal front. As far as I'm sure you've heard, nag-file ng TRO si Attorney Torreon to prevent any move or action on the part of the application of an arrest warrant through the Interpol. That's one. The other hand, meron pang isang petition requiring the government to disclose, or the ombudsman to disclose whether or not there is already an arrest warrant. Let me ask you first about the first one, yung TRO. To prevent the application of or enforcement of any arrest warrant against Bato Dela Rosa. How does that work? Can you TRO something that maybe has not yet happened or has not yet been issued?
I presume this was filed before the Supreme Court,
Yes,
because
sir.
they have, in fact, it was pending petition on the arrest of Mr. Duterte. But yes, I do agree with you, Ed, that something hypothetical cannot be a subject of a TRO. In fact, there's actually no actual case or controversy as of the moment, because there's still no official copy of that ICC arrest warrant. In fact, even the spokesperson of the ICC has stated that they don't have any information on that. So anything hypothetical cannot be a basis of a TRO application.
Hindi pwedeng preemptive. Kasi
Pwedeng preemptive, kasi nga, anong i-restrain, You cannot restrain something that has not yet happened or is still hypothetical,
Yes, sir. But let me be the devil's advocate here. Kasi what if I want to restrain you from releasing an arrest warrant? Hindi ba pwede yan?
Well, that's very, that's very out of the blue. Why? Because in fact, the institution who allegedly issued the arrest warrant is an international organization.
Well, that's also
the ICC, wherein the Philippines has no jurisdiction at all.
Okay.
And then, of course, the big debate there is whether it's going to be extradition or surrender. But mukhang extradition is not an option kasi hindi naman sovereign state yung ICC. So it will just be surrender, and that question lies on the executive. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree with Gina, because I've been stating this, that In fact, any extradition request is by a state. And in fact, even the rules on extradition proceedings that was issued by the Supreme Court last October defines extradition process as involving a requesting state. And yes, the ICC is not a state, it's an international organization. Secondly, if it's not a state, international tribunal, the legal basis for surrender, which is in Section 17 of RA 9851. And it's the same process that was used by the Philippine government to surrender Mr. Rodrigo Duterte to the ICC. So we have the law and we have state practice.
But it's exactly that process that's being questioned now at the Supreme Court, right? Do you think that matters? Do you think that gives it any weight, the fact that that process is being questioned?
Well, it was questioned, Regina, for the arrest and surrender of Mr. Duterte. But if we will just look at the previous decisions of the Supreme Court, and if it will just be consistent with these previous decisions, it's already moot and academic. Mr. Duterte is already outside of the jurisdiction of the Philippines. Is already in the custody of the ICC. And the ICC already made public pronouncement as to Mr. Duterte's being in its custody. So if the Supreme Court is consistent, it should actually just dismiss this petition for being moot and academic.
Right.
Why do I say this, Regina? Because that was the same tack that was used by the Supreme Court when it actually dismissed our own petition challenging the ICC withdrawal without Senate concurrence.
No, I meant, will that have any bearing on Senator Bato de la Rosa's case? The fact that that same process is being questioned at the Supreme Court?
Well, I think it will have no bearing on Mr. Bato de la Rosa's case because it does not even involve him. The petition that he filed together with the family of the Dutertes is actually on Mr. Rodrigo Duterte's arrest, not on his potential arrest by the ICC, not on his potential surrender because of ICC arrest warrant. So it's a totally different case.
Yeah.
Abang Lambok, may statement si John Vic Remulla on the supposed arrest.
Bangers.
So,
Bangers na naman.
This is from John Vic Remulla. DALG, reports of Attorney Harry Roque being arrested in the Netherlands are circulating, period. By virtue of the red notice issued by the Philippine government, authorities in the Netherlands have cause to arrest him and turn him over to Philippine authorities. However, I would like to emphasize that no official communication confirming an arrest has been transmitted to us. We will make the appropriate announcement once an official confirmation is received. I suppose yung bago rito is red notice already issued daw, pero sabi niya by the Philippine government. I'll read that sentence again. By virtue of the red notice issued by the Philippine government, authorities in the Netherlands have cause to arrest him and turn him over to Philippine authorities. So, yun sir. Attorney.
But again, posted 12 minutes ago from Harry Roque, his own page. He says, there's no truth to the rumors that I have been arrested. I have a scheduled flight to Vienna, Austria today, November 25. Details to follow. Go ahead, Attorney Gilbert.
Actually, it's the Philippine government as an Interpol member who applies for red notice.
Yeah. It does not issue the red notice. It's the Interpol that issues the red notice.
And then the Secretariat of the Interpol will look at it and determine that it's not for a political purpose. And then if it's not for a political purpose, it's determined that, then it will issue the red notice. And a red notice means that all of the 196 members of Interpol are actually notified.
So, just to correct the Secretary's statement, the Philippine government has not issued a red notice.
Well, if you just look at the Interpol procedure, it's the requesting state who makes
we're the requesting state. Although I wonder if he means that the Interpol has issued the red notice at the request of the Philippine government. Kaya sinasabi niya dun sa kanyang statement na the Netherlands police now have cause to arrest Harry Roque. So
and if I may also comment again, Ed,
yes, sir.
Red notice does not necessarily mean that it's an international arrest warrant.
Okay.
Why? It's still based on the domestic procedures of all the 196 Interpol members. Kaya ang ibig sabihin lang po yan, napuput sila on a high notice na mayroon pong arrest warrant for this person. And base sa kanilang domestic procedure, dapat gawin nila what's appropriate.
The ICC also recently changed its rules, no, attorney, to they asked that all arrest warrants from here on be made secret. I wonder if you had any context to that. Where did that decision come from?
Well, it's actually a amendment of the regulations of the court. It's just really to make it uniform for all of the chambers, all of the pretrial chambers, so that there's actually uniformity of procedures. And what they amended was that there's a presumption that any application for an arrest warrant or for a summons to appear, it's under seal or secret. So that's now the presumption, unless the pretrial chamber will actually change that. So it will be uniform for all of the pretrial chambers.
But it wasn't caused by all the high-profile cases from the Philippines.
I don't think so, because the presumption there is all of the ICC cases are actually high profile.
Yeah, yeah. And then as far as the case against former President Duterte is concerned, how is that going?
Oh, well, we're really waiting for 3 decisions on 3 separate matters. So the first one, which will be this Friday, will be on the interim release. And that will be the end of it with respect to the application for interim release, whether granted or denied. But we really hope that the appeal for interim release will really be denied by the appeals chamber. The second matter that's still pending before the ICC is the determination of Mr. Duterte's fitness to stand trial. And the report of the 3-person panel will actually be submitted to the pretrial chamber on December 5, and the OPCV, Office of the Public Counsel for Victims, as well as the Office of the Prosecutor, will have 1 week later or until December 12 to have their response. And then after that will be the appeal of the defense on the jurisdictional matter. We know that the pretrial chamber already affirmed that the ICC has jurisdiction. That was appealed by the defense. So let's wait on that matter. So these are 3 parallel issues being undergone before the ICC.
Did I understand correctly that the determination of Duterte's fitness to stand trial, it should come around December 12?
At the December 12, Regina, is the response of the Office of the Public Counsel for Victims as well as the OTP on the medical report that will be submitted on December 5. So December 5, the 3-person panel will give the report, whether separately or jointly, although it's really encouraged that it's a joint report. And December 12 will be the response of the OPCV and the Office of the Prosecutor. Now, as to the determination of Mr. Duterte's fitness to stand trial, ultimately it's a legal issue. It's not purely medical issue. Therefore, it's the pretrial chamber which will determine that.
And when does the side of Duterte give its response after December 12 then? After December 12 pa?
Well, presumably if they will ask for leave from the court. Then after that, well, we also hope that the pretrial chamber will really confirm that Mr. Duterte is fit to stand trial. We really hope that there will be a schedule of the confirmation of charges.
And you haven't heard anything, right, from out of The Hague? May kasi, sometimes some news pops up around here. The last one being that he was allegedly found unconscious in his room. You haven't heard anything about the state of his health?
What's so interesting, Regina, is that both the defense counsel, Mr. Kaufman, actually stated that that's not true. And even Vice President Sara Duterte stated that is not true.
Yeah. That's true. They did debunk that. We're just unsure where all of these rumors are coming from.
So we can say it's false news.
Fake news. Okay, we'll leave that there, but thank you so much for talking to us and shedding light on all these issues, I should say. When do you head back to The Hague, attorney?
Well, I will head there back if there's already a schedule for the confirmation of charges for Mr. Duterte.
You're heading back there for that talaga.
So
Okay,
we
we'll
will
keep in touch,
monitor
sir.
that and we'll stay in touch. Thank you so much for talking to us, ICC accredited lawyer, attorney Gilbert Andres.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, pinapa...
So, fake... Oh, okay. So, anyways, at this point, ano yung last words sa arrest ni...
Well, the last word
Former
is, I
spokesperson.
suppose, from Harry Roque. Kung nakapag-post pa siya. Assuming siya nagpo-post nun, ha?
We got in touch with the Philippine ambassador to the Netherlands, Ambassador Ed Malaya. And in response, we were trying to ask him for confirmation on this news. And in response, he says, pinaste lang yung statement ni Harry Roque.
Harry, yeah, yun din ang source niya.
Oh, yun din yung source niya. That's what he sent to us. But, you know, if there's anyone who would have gotten wind that there's something going on, you're right, the embassy there would have been tipped off by the Dutch authorities.
They'd be the first to
as
be
per
told officially.
As per diplomatic protocol.
They won't call Abante or or DW so and so.
So again, to confirm, there's a lot of news out there. We're hearing that Harry Roque has been arrested at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. But yun nga, a few minutes ago, he pasted a statement saying there is no truth to this matter, and he is in fact on his way to Vienna, Austria. And then he posted a photo of his boarding pass. Supposed to have left at 9:15 in the morning.
He was supposed to have appeared in our show.
He was supposed to have talked to us today. That's true. But he did tell our guest bookers that he was
would be
traveling
mobile.
today. So that part of the story aligned. So he told our bookers yesterday that he'll be traveling today, but he'll try to pick up our call. And then yun nga, 20 minutes ago, he posted this boarding pass saying there's no truth to the rumor that he has been arrested. And again, second corroboration is from Ambassador Ed Malaya, the Philippine ambassador to the Netherlands, saying that, we asked him for confirmation and he pasted Harry Roque's statement and then texted
Buti
it
lang
to us.
nagpigil tayo. Nagpigil talaga kami, ha?
Because it is big breaking news. But then...
Yeah, but but if it's wrong, then it's broken news.
It's broken news.
Not breaking news.
DILG says as well, wala pa silang nakakuhang any information on that. No communication confirming an arrest has been transmitted to the DILG.
Kasi some news organizations already posted the breaking story, that he was arrested.
Baka it was scheduled. It's a scheduled post, tapos napindot. Na-click, I don't know. Anyways, we'll continue monitoring this story, of course, and we'll bring you the latest in our evening shows and tomorrow, of course. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Oh, in case you're looking for our colleague, si Ronald is far away nga across
Baka
the world.
siya yung nahuli.
Baka si Ronald nadampot, yung ating international man of mystery.
Baka si Ronald pala yung na-arrest sa Schiphol Airport.
for carrying ano yung tawag doon?
Karambit.
Oo, karambit.
That's
Si Ami is also abroad, so that's why we have two people who are not with us right now, at least for the entire week. So yan, mga kapatid, I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.